Hola, mi gente. It's your girl here. I have a thought on my mind. This is not the time, and it won't ever be the time for you to be nice. What do I mean by that? And what does this have to do with self-love, self-first? Well, this has everything to do with self-love, self-first, baby. And when I say do not be nice, there's a part of life when you self-love and self-first, you raise your value. And technically, the amount of time that you put in on a daily basis, it is shameful if you allow for someone to come into your life and disrespect you, have no respect for you, throw you a few breadcrumbs. That's not allowed. It's not allowed. Because with everything that we have going on in our lives that can stress us out, that can put us in a place of anger, that can put us in a place of being negative, because of the fact that a person who self-loves self-first chooses by choice to make better decisions, although all adversities, although, you understand? You get my point? So when you're putting in that work, you shouldn't allow for someone to come around you and disrespect your space. And you don't have to do that with an attitude, baby. There's no need for the attitude. There is no need to yell. There is no need to be angry and argue. If a person puts you in that position, then it's time to get away from them, because they're going to stress you out. You're going to allow for them to stress you out because you're going to automatically click into your old way of being, thinking that it's okay for you to raise your voice to be heard. And from my experience and what I've been taught, actually, on the contrary, you don't have to raise your voice. You say what you say, you mean what you say, and you become a stoic person in that nature. Very stoic. It's true. So, do not allow for anyone to come to your space and put you in a position where you have to get disrespectful. Not only to them, but you're also disrespecting your space. First of all, from yelling or hitting or raising your voice or getting angry towards them and having to let your body experience that. That's a very low vibrational trait, y'all. And I get it. In our community, no one teaches us that. On the contrary, in the streets, it seems as though a lot of people like to get loud. A lot of people really think that that's where it's at. And then they really start to realize that there's thugs in every area code. There's thugs that are a lot quieter. I mean, if you really think about it, a professional sniper, do you think they speak out loud and say everything that they're supposed to say? You understand? So I digress from that sniper situation because we don't want to invoke violence, because I don't do violence. However, what I am trying to get you to understand is self-love, self-first. When you are putting in that work on a daily basis, learning to love yourself immensely, and your body is thankful for it, and you're thankful for it, and you are actually practicing the thank you moments. Like in my car, when I get in my car, And it's not about being in the car and being in the spaces. For me, overall, is the convenience that I have to be able to travel wherever I'm going and get there quick. In those moments when I realize that, I'm saying thank you. I'm grateful. You understand? So allow for changes to come through in your life and get rid of people who anger you. Get rid of people who put you in positions where you have to disrespect yourself. Forget about disrespecting them, because I know I said that earlier. You're disrespecting them and you're disrespecting. Forget about the fact that you're disrespecting others. You're disrespecting your value, your space, your grace. When when you have to put somebody in their place. However, let's get back to the topic, which is stop being nice. And all of that falls under the umbrella of not being nice, because we don't got time for it. There's a lot of moments when you can allow to let people think that everything is sweet, everything is okay. Yeah, sure, because you're gonna be a loving person, and I sure for know I'm a loving person. However, I ain't got time for it, and I will not make time for it. And I advise you do the same, because a lot of people's bad habits, they try to bring it onto you and destroy your life. And when they realize that they shouldn't be that way, you probably won't even be around. Because a lot of people have a lot of bad habits, and they don't even realize that what they're doing is wrong. You understand? When you open up a can of worms for bad habit, it just seems like you just continue to live that lifestyle. And when you start loving yourself, you realize that that is no longer the way you should live.